Turning on to East Zia Road from St. Francis, heading up to the foothills of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. You're looking up at Sun Mountain on the right and Moon Mountain peeking over there on the left. Strangely enough, I don't think I've done any videos of this part of town, even though this is kind of where I live and it's also one of my favorite parts of town. So we're well into October now. It's the 18th today, and still just gorgeous fall colors everywhere. It's been a very, very mild fall, which is making, you know, the presentation just absolutely stunning. All the chamisas are in bloom. A lot of the other weird things like the elms are changing colors. We do have a few red things. Not too many, but there's one, for example. So where I'm going is to put a sign up and give you a quick tour of my new listing, which is at 30 North Cloudstone Drive. It is a lot. It's a little over 13 acres at the very top of Cloudstone Drive, with some of the best views I think I've ever seen from any lot, except for maybe 1168 South Summit. So this lot, it will be listed for $318,000. It's in a community that has an HOA. There's about 24 homes. It's a pretty relaxed and friendly environment. There are some building restrictions, but nothing too onerous. What's more of a concern on this lot is how to actually build something, because it's pretty steep. So this will be the second time that I've had it on the market, so I know it pretty well at this point. We've done a lot of research over the course of a couple of different buyers and the current owners, who all have been with the county, the fire department, and everybody else to determine how buildable this lot is. It's definitely going to require a variance, but it's entirely possible to build a two-level home of approximately 2,000 to up to 3,000 square feet, and then a standalone garage down below that. And you'll see what I'm talking about once we get up here. It's probably was bought and developed originally back in the late 70s. The guy that used to own the lot built the house just below this lot, and probably put that driveway in without any sort of permits or anything like that. So now I'm heading on Old Santa Fe Trail towards Cloudstone Drive. I'm gonna have to take a quick break. There's Georgia O'Keeffe's property. Also Paul Allen from Microsoft used to own that property. They both have since sold it, and they're both no longer alive too. But anyway, it just sold again. I think it was originally listed for like 28 million, but it eventually sold for around 15 million, so about half what they were asking. It's a very, very large property. It's not just a house. So this is Cloudstone Drive right here. I'm gonna take a quick break, pop a sign up, get through the gate, and then continue on. But just so you know, this is the main entrance here to Cloudstone Drive. All right, so I'm through the gate. All the mailboxes are right there. I want to say the HOA is $500 a quarter, so $2,000 per year, and that covers the gate, it covers the insurance, and it covers the road maintenance, and mainly that's going to be this dirt part, and also snow plowing too if needed. This road generally stays in pretty good shape. People drive pretty calmly on this, so it does get a little bit steep in places. Let's see, this house was not listed not too long ago for 1.1 million. Looks like somebody moved in. Had some weird things going on about it. Not quite sure what the final sale price was. this whole area came about probably in the late 70s, early 80s, as I was kind of mentioning before. So the architectural guidelines are fairly loose. There's a lot of things up here that are not your typical Pueblo style or northern New Mexico style, or any style really for that matter. I mean, you might find some things with stucco on the outside, but that's about as far as it goes. There's a lot of two-story things that you have to build up because of the nature of the lot. You can do solar panels. I just saw a whole rack of them down there. They did have some bark beetle hit up here in the last couple of years and took out a lot of the piñones. You see a bunch of the dead ones there. And this lot lost a whole bunch of nice ones too, but they've since been cleared out, to my understanding. It's been a few years since I've been up here, so I'm curious to see how much has changed. It really is pretty. You got that big huge thing there. That's a two-story. Man, they've got some crazy views from that house. Sorry, my windshield's so messy. Just got back from Albuquerque last night. So this part is paved, probably because it's the north facingest and steepest part of the road, and I guess they wanted to have it shed the snow earlier. I'm not sure I agree with that. It might have been better off just staying gravel. There's like a pitched metal roof house tucked down there. So Cloudstone splits up here, and it's north and south. Like I said, there's maybe 5 to 8 homes up that way north, and maybe another 5 to 8 on the south end. There's only 2 lots left though that have not been built on. One of them is at the very top of South Cloudstone, so up there. And then the other one is at the very top of North Cloudstone, which is my new listing, which is where we're heading right now. Here's the split. Degrees on October 18th. Usually our normal first freeze is, you know, around Halloween or a little before Halloween, but it's not looking like that's in the cards for us right now, which means our fall is going to be rolling on into November. But it's kind of fine by me. Like, this is my favorite time of year anyway, so the longer we get to enjoy it, the better. A little peak, kind of a steep thing. You always got to kind of take it slow there. So there's 1, 2, 3 driveways here. There's 18 AB. There's like a log cabin kind of looking deal up there, and there's something that's got all these weird big windows, and then there's a more contemporary one up there. So like I said, you've got some wiggle room in your ability to construct a house up here. Over here to the right is going to be where the shared well is. So these last 4 properties up here are all on this one shared well. We've had that inspected. Probably have old inspection reports. You can see that the well house and everything is right there, and then there's a pressure tank back behind it. And then that water's got to get pumped up this last bit of road here that goes back to paved again. And then is at the edge of my lot. So it's another nice perk about this place is that you have water and electric already here, and that you would just need to put in a septic system. But because this is such a steep lot, you're going to need to put in what's called an advanced treatment system, which is a little bit more of an involved septic system. All right, I'm going to park right here and walk up, but you can get a little peek of what the driveway looks like there. Looks like I might have to bring my weed whacker up here and clear it out a little bit. Stay tuned. Those 2 houses you wouldn't be able to build these days. That's what we would call in the escarpment zone, since it sits right up on top of that ridge like that. Would not be allowed. Same goes for that one right there, and probably that one. That pitched roof one you see way up there, and then of course those two on the top. So this is a driveway that's roughed in. It's fairly rough. I don't even know if my weed whacker can handle this stuff. There's a chain that goes across here, but clearly it's not being used. Doesn't look like really anyone's been up here though. Oh, all these nasty guys. I got these in my driveway too. They're possible to weed whack. There's your first culvert right here. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Of course, it's been really dry. Let's see on this end. Might need a little excavating. This is the area where there were a bunch of piñons that died, unfortunately. But the current owner had all those cleared out. It's gonna need a little bit of work on this driveway, I tell you. This part was all here the last time I was up here, which was maybe last summer. You could see where this left side is kind of gouging out a little bit, so it's gonna need to be reworked. There's another set of culverts right here. There's a couple more dead piñons that need to come out. I'm noticing. So, here's the building pad. Just too small. As it stands, you could probably build a 800 to 1,000 square foot house right here. But the idea was to push it back into the hillside here. Let me open this up a little. And make it 2 levels. And then down below here, you would have your fire truck turnaround. You need a hammerhead turnaround, and it would be also the separate 2-car garage. And it was graded out going up a little bit, but not very much. The real reason to be up here is this. That's pretty sweet views of all of downtown Santa Fe. You've got the Jemez Mountains. I'm scrolling over to the south and the east right now. That's the Ortiz Mountains in the front, and then you've got Sandias in the back. Then all of South Santa Fe, coming more into downtown Santa Fe, east side Santa Fe. Behind that, you've got the Jemez Mountains. And probably could see the lights of Los Alamos at night from up here. So the property goes all the way to the top of that ridge, basically. It's not basically, it does. So you have this incredible rock formations and beauty behind you all the way to the top of that ridge to come out here and explore. But you can't really use it for much because it's so steep. But man, is that pretty. And on the other side of that is city or county open space. So you end up hitting some trails and stuff if you go back down on that side. And then you end up behind St. John's. Super cool. I have not been up there myself, but I made sure that the surveyors went up there and they found those corners. They weren't too happy with me, but they did it. So all those corner markers are old. They're 3 or 4 years old, but they should be able to be found pretty easily if you wanted to hike up there. I'm happy to hike up there too, if you want to come check it out. Okay, so a couple more dead piñons we got to work on taking out. The road could use a little general maintenance or weed whacking. It's not really that bad. So this is currently for sale on the market. Give me a call if you're interested in 30 North Cloudstone Drive.